Welcome to Movie Magic. I'm your host, King Crusoe. You can call me KC, and I was not expecting to make a video about this movie. The reasons for that are twofold. Number one, because I wasn't actually expecting to go see this. Like, I had a morbid curiosity about it, but I didn't think that I'd be feeling in a way to actually go watch it. But then I did anyway, and that might have been a mistake, because the second reason why I didn't think I was going to make a video about this movie was because I didn't want to think about it anymore after I got out of the theater. You know how people talk about those movies that are incredible but that they never want to watch again, or really any kind of media. This can go for books or games or anything like that. You know, just an amazing work of art that I will never touch again in my life. That is certainly how I felt about Obsession when I first watched it, and quite frankly, there's definitely a part of me that still feels that way, right? It's complicated feelings that I have about Obsession, because it is an incredible movie. Like, I don't even know if I can do a very good job trying to, like, even give you, like, my thoughts on some of the more objective qualities of it, like the direction, the blocking, foreshadowing, the writing, the acting, all of this kind of stuff. All of it is top-notch. Like, there's not an aspect of this movie that I can think of that I can point to and be like, that is not top-tier quality. Like, just so much about Obsession. If you've seen it, you probably know what I mean. So much about this movie is just genuinely incredible. I think that this is arguably the most perfect movie I've ever seen in my life. Like, it is amazing. Just so good. But it also really messed me up, and I will probably never watch it again. It's like, will I buy this movie when it's available physically to purchase? I don't know, because I don't think I will ever watch it again. Will I ever watch it again? Maybe someday. Maybe. But the fact that I'm saying maybe now, having seen it, I guess, a couple of weeks ago at this point, is already in and of itself a pretty big deal, because I was not expecting that I would ever change my mind on the fact that I didn't want to watch it. Like, my Letterboxd review of this was basically just flawless, impeccable, astonishing. I want to forget every single second of this experience, and that is certainly how I felt when I immediately came out of the theater. Like, just, you know, I don't even know what else to really say about the movie. This video is probably going to be really short, and probably unjustified to even make a video about it. This is also, like, I guess the third reason why I wasn't sure I would make a video about Obsession was because I don't properly know what to say about this, other than to make it clear that I'm one of those people who thinks that it is incredible and never wants to watch it again. Just overall, really impressive film. You know, kind of what I already said, there's not an aspect of this thing that I would not consider to be of top tier quality. I think that so much of it is so intentional and so well done. There's definitely a magic here. Lightning was definitely caught in this bottle to make a really intriguing and really thought-provoking movie, even beyond the fact of, you know, just how horrifying it really is in a lot of ways, right? There's a lot of debate online about, like, who's the real villain of Obsession, and while I'm not necessarily going to take any sides here, I think that one of the things that makes Obsession really interesting is the fact, like, there's an argument for and against multiple different characters with regards to that question in particular. There's a lot to read into, a lot of certain, like, specific movements of characters. The casting here is really well done, and furthermore, beyond just the casting itself, the actual character performances, like, all of these actors did obviously an incredible job. Bear's actor did a great job. Of course, Nikki's actress put on, if she doesn't win everything, like, next year from, like, film awards, like, if she is not nominated and wins everything, I will be so mad, because nobody deserves it more than her actress does. Just such a well done performance, and performances that are you know, in support of and also carried by how strong the actual writing and the actual structure of the movie is as well. Like, I thought that the start of this movie was really interesting, because, like, it starts off a lot more endearing. You know, the first little bit of this is actually really endearing, like, great character writing and performances, realistic interactions and all that kind of thing that makes, you know, actually watching it makes sense, like it works. It's like, oh wow, yeah, I could see this being like a solid romantic movie, right? Until obviously not, of course. But there's a lot of the little quirks about certain characters and just different things that are going on that are like, the beginning of this movie is really great for that. But once the horror obviously starts, there's no stopping it, and so many different ways that you're made uncomfortable watching this movie. Really memorable in that regard, memorable in ways that I kind of wish it wasn't. You know, there are obviously like pictures going around on social media, like some of the makeup design of a couple particular scenes that make Nikki look super uncanny and creepy in ways that are like, wow, it's such a simple effect to do with just makeup, and works so well in the movie. So much. I also have to like kind of wonder at like some of the construction of the movie as well, because there are times like where, I mean, I guess I'll just say it, Nikki's character like does some like backwards walking stuff that like looks so weird and impossible, and like there weren't stunt doubles. I wonder if like some of those were like bits that were they were shot like with like different frame rates or something like that, and then put in reverse to look the way that they. I have no idea how some of the general effects of the movie were pulled off. They seem so relatively simple, but I actually have no idea how they were done. They just happened to be executed in a way that was very effective. I think the makeup was also really good for a lot of different points of the movie. So, you know, general practical effects in here were great. I don't even know if there were any like notable digital effects that were utilized in Obsession. If they were blended with the use of the practical effects so well so as to be, impossible to notice. This may have like one of the most effective scares I have personally seen in a movie. Like, I quite frankly went to one of the very last showings of this movie in the theater that I went to it, and it was still like 2/3 of the way full or something like that. There was still a lot of people in it. But of course, I guess that makes sense because the box office for Obsession grew weekend after weekend for the first few of them. So that makes sense that more people were going. It's part of the reason why me and my friend went, even though we weren't sure if we would be up for it. But we went anyway because of the word of mouth, just like everybody else. But there was one particular scare, you probably know the one in the car, that was everybody in the theater screamed. I don't know anybody who did not gasp or scream from that and swear. And yeah, that was a really effective scare, and really effective because you knew it was coming the entire time. Like the best scares are the ones that you know are coming, and the ones that like you could even see it coming like 2 seconds before it happens. You know exactly when it's happening. You just don't have enough time to actually react or like brace for it properly right ahead of time, because it's like literally there, the scare is coming, but again, your brain just doesn't have enough time to actually do anything about it until it's already happened. So like, really great scares in the movie. A lot of the movie is also really good because of how unsettling it is, not just the outright scares, how unsettling certain aspects of performances are. That is also really, really good. Just so much. Everything about the movie is perfect. You know, I think that the construction of it, the writing of it, the drama, the melancholy is not the right term, but like the tragedy of frankly every character here. Every character has their own tragedy going on. Except for maybe Bear's friend. He might just be an asshole and might have kind of halfway deserved what he got, but in any case of like this primary friend group, the primary set of characters, those four main characters here, all have their own version of tragedy that they experience in the movie, which is part of why I think that there's no straight answer to who's the villain, because frankly all four of the characters have, well, I guess Ashley is pretty innocent, honestly, like almost entirely. Not 100% entirely, but still very innocent. And either all four of these characters are very human. You know, they all have their flaws. They all have their mistakes. They all make their mistakes. And I mean, Nikki is obviously the only one who's like truly, fully innocent for, you know, obvious reasons, because she wasn't really under her own control for the entire movie, which I guess is a spoiler, but whatever. But all things considered, like all four of these characters have a tragic storyline going on, and the degrees of innocence versus guilt for those four characters varies, but all of them have a sort of arc that is going on because of the actions of the because of Bear's actions, really. That they were just so compelling, and like seeing that struggle and the strife, even from Bear's point of view, is like, honestly, I think a lot more sympathetic than a lot of people are willing to admit. Because like this is a very complex situation, actually. Yeah, it was just a lot about the movie. I think it's really thought provoking as well, right? Like the fact that there are arguments about who's the real villain or whatever is only one way in which it's really thought provoking, but there's a lot to get out of this, and I think that a lot of the construction of certain things would probably really be rewarding for this on a rewatch, knowing everything that's about to happen and wanting to see some of the clues to some of that ahead of time. But that's probably not something that I'm ever going to do, as I don't think I'm going to rewatch this movie. All I know is that I enjoyed it a lot, and that it was really, really good. And by enjoyed, I mean like I had an absolutely miserable freaking experience that I never want to go through ever again. But the movie is so good that like you can't fault it. That like Obsession is the second movie that I've watched and reviewed this year that I gave 5 out of 5, but like on Letterboxd I didn't give it the little orange heart because like I just had an absolutely miserable time watching it. Obsession for let's put it this way. I don't think I've watched another movie where I've straight up gone into like panic, fight or flight mode because of it. And Obsession put me into that mode where I came out of the theater and I was shaking. Like the theater that we went to go see it in, my buddy and I, is 2 hours away from where I live. And I spent at least those 2 full hours and plus a couple hours in between, stopped at his house, which is like 45 minutes away from where I live. So we had a pit stop there for a while before I came home. We were going to go eat right after seeing the movie, and we didn't go eat after seeing the movie. We were in such that shock, that panic, that fight or flight response. We were still so shaky and like just so affected by the experience of watching it, put us into such a mood that like we couldn't eat. Like we weren't hungry anymore. Like it wasn't going to happen. That's what this movie did. Like I said, it definitely put me in fight or flight mode. I was shaking. I have not been that shaky from much, like just the sheer adrenaline of something. That was something pretty much new, but I guess that kind of goes to show just how effective and how well put together Obsession was. Just very, very good movie. This video ended up being a little bit longer than I expected for it to. I guess I ultimately found ways to talk about it that, were true to my experience. Maybe they were compelling, maybe they were not. If you watched this video and you enjoyed it, I hope you enjoyed it, but let me know what you thought about the movie down below. I know that basically everybody loves it for good reason. The fact that this is a horror movie probably means that it's not going to get much attention at like award shows and stuff next year, but it better, and Nikki's actress better win everything. If she does not, I will riot, probably, actually. Like I will be tirading on the internet about how she deserves everything. I thought the same thing about Timothée Chalamet from Marty Supreme last year, where I didn't watch that until early this year. That was the other 5 out of 5 movie that I didn't put a little orange heart on because I was kind of miserable watching it, even though I thought it was a really good movie. Like Chalamet's performance in that, incredible. Really, really, really good. And I was like, if Chalamet doesn't win, best performance for whatever, I'm going to be mad. And I was mad when he didn't win it in some cases. Was really happy when he did win it in a couple other cases. I forget the specifics of all of that, but like, if I thought that Chalamet deserved best performance for Marty Supreme, what is her name? Inde Navarrete or something? I probably really, really, really butchered that name and probably misremembered it too, but Nikki's actress deserves all of the awards many times more than Chalamet already deserved all the awards from Marty Supreme. So like that is how peak that performance was. Yeah. The fact that this movie made so much freaking money and was somehow made for only 750,000, very, very, very deserved. So that is going to be the end of my review. What are your thoughts on our obsession? Let me know in the comments down below. I would sure be glad to hear about it. I'm interested to hear about it. But for now, I've been your host, King Crusoe. You can call me KC. I'm surprised I made a review about this movie, but I hope to see you guys in the next video.